Okay. So welcome to Success Redefined. What does that mean? To me, the purpose of this, Success Redefined, is what does actual success mean to you inside? And for so long, success has just been um, based on external success, degrees, job titles, relationships, everything outside of you, me. But actual success is all within you, it comes from within. So that's why many women find themselves constantly looking for further validation from the outside world to make them feel successful, whether it's another degree, it's another job title, it's an advancement in career, it's a relationship, feeling you need a certain relationship in order to be happy because society said that's what success is. So it's checking off boxes that at the end of the day are meaningless. So at the end of the day, you may have checked off all the boxes, then you're wondering why you're still feeling so empty. So that's what I want to dive into today is why we're checking off all these boxes and we're still feeling empty inside, and how to stop doing that, and how to figure out what it is that really makes you happy. What would be your definition of success? And for each and every person here, that's going to mean something different. And that's the beauty of it because it isn't a cookie cutter approach. It isn't a one size fits all definition of success. And for too long, we've been made to feel that it is. So we're all checking off the same boxes, but we're all so different. So I want to start with, first of all, for those of you who don't know me, because there are some people here and some people that are registered that I honestly don't know personally. So that excites me as well. So I am Karen Sarmento. I'm a nurse practitioner by trade, specializing in cardiology. And I more recently have started my own company, Sarmento Mentoring Services, to work with women, helping them redefine what success actually means to them and how to get there. So, and that's been my passion project. And it's really been more of um, a movement than a mission because I really want women near and far to realize that they can have it all and that it is an internal job. It's an inside job. You have all the answers within. It isn't going to come from outside you. So, with that, moving along. So, where does it begin? So, the very first step to making a change is becoming aware of where you are now, how you're living your life, being aware and being willing to take a good hard look at your life and a good look at yourself because everything in your world right now has been created by you. Everything in my world, good and bad, has been created by me. So the first step is being willing to be more aware of what are the things you're doing every day? What are the things in your day that fuel you? Meaning they make you feel great. They make you laugh. They make you smile. You genuinely feel good on the inside when you do them. When you're around people that make you laugh and you have fun with, those people you know are your people. All the things you're doing that make you feel good. Maybe it's your work. Maybe that does light you up, but maybe it drains you. I don't know. Everybody's different. But pay attention to all the things that fuel you. And on the flip side of that, what are the things you're doing day in and day out or on a regular basis that drain you, because we all do it. We do the things, the shoulds. I should do. I should be doing. I should. But at the end of the day, it leaves you feeling sometimes resentful that you're doing it. It leaves you feeling empty. Sometimes it leaves you feeling a little, maybe even angry, because now you've spent time that you really wanted to spend doing something else. And you said yes to something you really didn't want to say yes to. So I actually want you to take a moment right now to write these things down. Two different columns. What are the things that you're doing now that fuel you, light you up? They make you feel good on the inside. And on the other side, what are the things you're doing now that drain you? Because you may not even be aware of it. So take this last week, today's Saturday. What did this last week look like? What are the things you're doing that do not serve you? And sometimes there's certain things that we just have to do because it's life, whether it's work or commitments that you have that can't be avoided. But I'm referring to the things that we're doing out of obligation. We're saying yes when we really wanted to say no. Those things. And write it all down. If you're watching the replay, um, pause the video and write these things down. Do it now while we're in the throes of it. And to everybody who's here live, start writing these things down right now. And it can be anything. And allow yourself to do it from a place of self-love, not from a place of where you feel guilty for writing it down, because guilt, shame, those are heavy. They feel heavy. They will weigh you down. To write this list from a place of self-love. And you can come back to this too with the replay. But so important to really take a look. So once you've done this, next, I want you to make a decision, a concrete, committed decision. And by committed, I mean a committed decision to yourself that you're going to make a change that serves you. And you're only making this decision based on what works for you. And it's a decision that you are going to make a change today, not another minute longer. Are you going to continue to live the same way? Because if nothing changes, then nothing changes. So I'm going to say that again, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. So if you keep doing all the things that you do every day, continue to do all the same things, you will continue to get the same result, which is why we often live Groundhog Day, where you're living the same day over and over again, because you're doing the same things over and over again. And with small, simple changes and an awareness and a willingness to change, a willingness to do things differently, small changes can lead to big changes. So as you've written those things down, now it's a committed decision. I'm going to do things differently. So what does that look like? And why haven't we done it already? The reason we haven't done it already is because we have what's called the subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is very powerful. 95% of your behavior is driven by the subconscious mind, which means only 5% is based on conscious decision making, meaning what you've decided and the things that you can see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. That's the external world. Only 5% are based on your conscious mind. Your subconscious mind is driving all the behaviors. So what has created the subconscious mind beliefs? Those are typically, not all of them, some of them are good, but a lot of your limiting beliefs are in the subconscious mind. So you're not even aware that they are steering the boat the whole time. Your subconscious mind are those beliefs that have been ingrained in you since you were born, really. Over time, you hear these things over and over again throughout your childhood, throughout the school years, throughout your college years, then it's your working years. All the different outside influences are impacting this. Yeah. So what happens is those beliefs have been created through cultural beliefs, through familial, through society, friends. As you get older, it's the workplace. And before you know it, your beliefs are not your own and you don't even realize it. And it can be very simple things, but over time, that sets a self imposed boundary of what you will create. So, based on those limiting beliefs, you may not feel you are worthy of doing more than what you're doing now. You may think that that's okay for her. She can do that, but I could never do that. Maybe because nobody else that you know of did. So that's how you believed you could only do a certain amount. Now, those limiting beliefs are part of what I want you to be aware of, because the moment you start to think of doing things differently, your subconscious beliefs will creep in. That's not how we do it. Not you. You can't do that. You're not worthy of that. Why would you do it that way? You've always done it this way. So, part of being aware of the things you're doing is also being aware of what you're thinking. So, for example, right now, you've written down all the things that drain you. When you think of saying no to anything on that list, what thought creeps into your mind? And I'll bet it's something like, well, I have to do that, or I should. Shoulds, they get you in trouble every time. They get you in trouble every time. So those are the little beliefs that will creep in and not want you to change. They will not want you to do anything different. And change doesn't have to be difficult. It can be challenging, but it can be fun, and you can start changing things today. This very moment, you can start changing the way you do things. You're here for a reason. I firmly believe that everybody here listening to this is not here by chance. You're not here on this earth by chance. We all have a purpose. We all have unique gifts that are our special gifts that we're meant to share with the world. And I believe that we all have something that we know inside we are good at, and that we are meant for more than what we're doing right now. That's where the name of my podcast came from, because I do believe this. And I think it can oftentimes be a very subtle whisper that you ignore and you push down. But I will bet that most people here right now could say that they believe they're meant for more, and that they have gifts that they are keeping inside and not sharing with the world for a number of reasons. And I encourage you to start listening to that inner voice. When it tells you you're meant for more, it's because you are. The message is meant for you. And you're getting that feeling, you're getting that intuitive guidance, you're getting that little whisper for a reason. And my sister and I, we love the quote, I'm thankful for the idea that used me. And I can't think of the gentleman that said it, but think about that. I'm thankful for the idea that used me because you're given these ideas, these visions, these thoughts for a reason. So I want you to start listening to that inner voice because it won't steer you wrong. From there, we have got to have goals. When you don't have a goal, you're kind of floating. You're floating like a paper bag in the wind. Someone I know and love dearly uses that expression and works for him, maybe. But when you have goals, it's something you're moving toward, not just empty goals that we write on paper and then don't pay attention to it, not New Year's resolutions, not that, not on January 1st goals. Those are great. That's a great place to start fresh. But the goals I'm referring to are different. So I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of what goal setting means to me and what that looks like, and how to start setting meaningful goals that are backed by emotion and they're backed by a strong why. Why do you want that certain goal? And I will tell you something else about goals. What's interesting, goals are not to get. We think they are, and that's okay because we're moving towards something. But the beauty of a goal is who you become along the way, because who you become along the way is powerful. That change, you might not feel it or see it in the process, but once you achieve that goal, you will need a telescope to see the person you used to be. So a goal is transformative. It's transformative for the achieving process. It transforms you, the goal seeker. So when you're setting goals, there's three types of goals: A, B, and C. A type goals are the goals you know how to do it. You know how to achieve it. It's very simple. It's it's more of a to-do list. Today I'm going to write out all my bills. Today I'm going to do the groceries. Today I'm going to do XYZ. These are the things that you know how to do. You can easily do it. You've done it before many times, and you'll do it again. Nothing wrong with having these goals because they give you a sense of completion. They're actually important in many ways because you get to complete them, you get to accomplish them. There's a reward in that. And when you complete tasks or A type goals or those to-do lists, you should uh, compliment yourself and, good job. We did that. Acknowledge it, because it's important that you finish things. It's important that you start and finish. It's important that you keep your word to yourself. Today, I said I was going to do X, Y, Z, and I did it. So that's important. So A-type goals have a place, but they're not going to change your world. They're not going to change you dramatically, not at all. So that brings me to B-type goals. B-type goals are the goals, yeah, you've done it before. You could probably do it again. Even if you haven't done it before, it's a goal that you could see how you could do it. Maybe it's buying a new car. You've done this before, but it's a little bit of a stretch. Maybe you have to figure out the finances. You may have to do some car shopping, deal with the the dealership, which maybe isn't your forte, but you can do it. Maybe there's a little stretching involved, maybe a little growth, but you can do it. If XYZ happens, I can do it. If a couple things fall into place strategically, I can make that happen. And you can see how you could make it happen. Those are okay too, because you accomplish things and you make things happen that may need to happen. But the goals I really want to focus on today are the C-type goals. These are the goals that are enormous. These are, you've allowed yourself to think big. You've allowed, speaking of thinking big, The Magic of Thinking Big. It's an amazing book. I highly recommend it. The Magic of Thinking Big. So the C-type goals are where you have imagined, you have created your dream life. You have created things that you feel are impossible. You can't even imagine how you will make this happen, but the how is none of your business. That's the beauty of it. Don't let yourself get caught up in the steps. Don't let yourself get caught up in the mechanics of how this is going to happen. The steps, the how will be delivered to you along the way. The steps and the how will be delivered to you along the way. That takes some of the pressure off. Your role in this is to set the goal and become emotionally involved with the goal, meaning it's got to be meaningful. It's got to mean something to you. There's got to be a strong why behind it. Because if there isn't a strong why, we'll abandon the project because it doesn't matter. And it's going to require you to listen to your guidance. It's going to require that you receive the steps, that you hear them internally, and that you take action on the intuitive guidance, because we are divinely guided every day. But that voice, that inner voice, gets drowned out by the outside chatter, by all the outside voices. We no longer listen to our inside voice. So, with that being said, when you set this really big goal, take some time to write out your dream life. What would a dream day look like for you? And what would your big C-type goals be? Now, for everybody here, that's something different. It's going to be something different. It could be for some, maybe it is career. Um, Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's just in general how you want your connections to be. Often, I think it needs to be purpose driven. There's got to be something in you that really feels called for this. And it's got to light you up. And by that, I mean, when you wake up in the morning, it's right there on your mind and you are taking steps toward it. And they don't have to be massive steps and they don't have to be expensive steps. They can be steps that are meaningful to you. They're steps that are maybe a little uncomfortable because listen to this part closely. Change is going to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to be. And that's okay. Be open to that because that's the beauty in stepping outside your comfort zone. When you step outside your comfort zone, that is where change occurs. If you don't step outside your comfort zone, you live the same day over and over again. Nothing changes. Stepping outside your comfort zone can feel uncomfortable. But what happens in the comfort zone is we stay there because number one, it's comfortable. That's why they call it the comfort zone. But it doesn't mean it's serving you. We stay there because it's familiar, We stay there because it's safe. We can't fail in there. We know how this is going to play out every day. In the comfort zone, you know what's going to happen next because you did it yesterday and the day before that. We know how it's going to play out tomorrow because we've already done it. We do it every day. Even when staying in the comfort zone doesn't serve you, maybe you're going to um, a job that makes you very unhappy. Maybe you're going to, maybe you stay in a relationship that's unhealthy, but it's comfortable. It's what you know. So I hope that makes it a little more clear why we stay in the comfort zone and why we do some of the things we do, because it's familiar and safe. But when you start to set C-type goals, it will require you to do things differently. And when I say the how it's going to happen is none of your business, I mean that. What it requires is that you listen and be open to the steps that will be handed to you along the way. They will be handed to you in the form of people, opportunities, experiences. Um, this requires you to be listening to your internal voice. It requires you to say yes, even though it might be uncomfortable. It requires you to do things that you're not sure how it's going to turn out. But I guarantee when you do something different, whether it plays out the way you want it to, whether you succeed or whether it doesn't go as planned, I guarantee you grow. And that's the beauty of doing things differently and taking a chance. I don't believe there's failures. I don't believe in that. I believe every time you try to do something new and it doesn't work out the way it was supposed to, we grow. Every time you do that, you grow and you learn. You learn for next time what you might do differently. And for me, I've made mistakes along the way. And that's what brought me to this personal development journey and brought me to have this great mission to help other women realize what I realized. Um, and what that was is that my mistakes and my challenges and periods of time in my life when I didn't show up in a way that I was proud of, those things weren't meant to hold me back. They were meant to catapult me forward in a beautiful way. So, what happens though, and what happened to me is I didn't see it that way. I thought my mistakes, my challenges, my period of time in life when I wasn't showing up made me feel small and unworthy. And I stayed in that place longer than I should have. And that was a disservice. It was a disservice to me. It was a disservice to my son. And it was a disservice to everyone else in my life. And it was a disservice, I now know, to the world because I now have a message and a story to share that you too will hopefully benefit from because our mistakes, challenges, or past experiences are not meant to keep us playing small. They are not meant to leave you feeling guilty, shameful, embarrassed. Those are heavy, low vibrational energies. And when you stay there, you create more of that. That's what you will attract to your life. So if you're living in shame, guilt, fear, you are going to attract more experiences in your life that will revolve around shame, guilt, fear, whatever those energies are you're staying in. So your mistakes or periods of time in your life that you're less than proud of were not meant to hold you back. They are meant to strengthen you and they are meant to catapult you forward. And I'm going to use a quote that I first heard from Ed Milet, which is, we are most qualified to help the person that we used to be. So I'm going to say that again because it's really powerful and it's stuck with me ever since I heard him say it. We are most qualified to help the person that we used to be. So remember that anytime you're feeling small. And what once made you feel small is likely your superpower. What once made you feel small is likely part of your purpose moving forward. When people say they don't know what their purpose is, I'll bet if you look back on some challenging times in your life, it's pointing you in the direction of your purpose. I get goosebumps with that because we see it as so negative and shameful and makes us unworthy of doing anything amazing because I did. And that's not it. It's meant to grow you. It's strengthening you. It's strengthening you to shape the world and shape those around you and to contribute and have purpose. So I hope that all resonates with you. And I hope that it really allowed you to have grace for yourself and to recognize that you are worthy right now as you are. And the only person holding you back is likely you. Think about that. It's a self-imposed boundary, and it's not your fault. We all have it. It's a self-imposed boundary based on our self-image and our self-worth. So we hold ourselves right here at a particular level where our self-image is, where our level of self-worth is. We don't go any higher than that. Probably don't go much lower. It's like a thermostat. We probably stay right about there. But that can be changed. That can be changed with some internal work. Like I said in the beginning, it's all an inside job. Everything's an inside job. That leaves you empowered to take control of your life and to do amazing things. It's not just for the other person, it's for you. And I think deep down, we know what our purpose is. We feel that little calling, we feel that little whisper. And there's so many people on this call right now that I know are amazing, amazing. And I see in them so much that they don't even see in themselves. And that's what happens. So allow yourself to see your greatness. Don't focus on the small that you're feeling. Focus on the things you love about yourself, your gifts that you want to share. Don't hold those inside. Share those gifts because we all have them. And listen to the dream that you have and think of it as a C-type goal. Now, to achieve those C-type goals and change your self-image, it doesn't happen overnight, but it happens. And you are the change maker. You are the driver of that change. You have got to take the driver's seat and the steering wheel, not the back seat as the passenger. You're not an extra. You are the main character in your life. And you have the beauty of having the ability to write the script. So literally, I want you to write out two things. And this sounds like work, but this is life-changing work. It's actually fun. I'm referring to it as work because it does require commitment and a little bit of time, mostly a committed decision to do it. But write out your ideal day. What does it look like start to finish? What does it look like? What is your morning routine? What is your gratitude practice? Everybody should have a gratitude practice. Um, do you exercise? What's the health of your body? Are you healthy and strong? This isn't about weight. It's not about a scale number. It's about feeling good and being healthy. It's about nourishing your body. What is your diet like? Not a diet of restriction. What do you eat and consume to fuel your body? It's about how do you dress? How do you show up? How do you walk, talk, communicate? How do you handle conflict? So, what does an ideal day look like? And then that leads us to your self image, which the two are somewhat parallel because your self image, I want you to write out exactly who you need to be to have that C type goal. How do you need to show up? How would you show up when that goal was achieved? So, how would you walk, talk, simple things, head up, shoulders back? That's a very small thing you can do to change your whole physiology. It changes your state. If you walk into a room with your head up, shoulders back, you feel different and people feel that. Whereas if you sit like this, you can probably see the difference in how I looked slumped over. And I catch myself sometimes doing that. Wow, what am I doing? All hunched over. That happens. So that's back to the awareness. You've got to be aware and present with yourself of what you're doing every day. How are you showing up with regard to everything? So, how are you walking, talking, dressing? How are you communicating? What do your relationships look like? Don't worry about how someone else is showing up. You can only control how you're showing up in the relationship. So, how are you showing up? Not about blaming others. This whole webinar is about taking responsibility and taking control of our own lives and how we're showing up. When you further define your self image, and you're writing this all out, there's so much more detail. How do you handle conflict? How do you, um, what does your relationship look like with your children if you have them, with your spouse or your significant other? What are your friendships like? What do you do for fun? Do you exercise? Do you go outside? Are you active? How do you dress? What are you driving? I don't know. It's all unique to you. What is what brings you fulfillment? So is there a form of contribution? And I don't mean financial contribution. It could be financial contribution. But to anybody that says, well, I don't have any money to contribute, you can contribute with time or simple interactions with people that change your day and theirs. A simple interaction, a smile to another person, a hug. Those are the day-to-day behaviors that can become how you show up all the time. It will change you. It will change you. And practice it. Write out your whole script and then start practicing it. You can really shock the neural pathways in your brain. The term neuroplasticity. It's the actual ability of your brain and the neural pathways to change based on experiences, new knowledge. Many things can impact the ability of the brain to change. And that's what neuroplasticity is. And that's how you change it. You can shock those pathways by just start showing up differently. Your family's going to think, what is she doing? But it doesn't matter. Have fun with it. It matters to you and it will change your world. I guarantee it. So have a journal, write these things down, write things down that start coming up for you and So you want to be aware. You want to make a decision, a concrete, committed decision to yourself. Only matters that you keep your word to yourself. We'll keep our word to everybody else. We won't let anybody else down, but we think it's okay to let ourselves down because nobody will know. But we know, and your subconscious mind knows, and it labels you as somebody that doesn't keep their word. Personal integrity, it's very important. So that decision, and you're setting your goals. A, B, and C are the different types of goals, but you want to focus on those C type goals. Those are the ones that will change you. Those are the ones that will get you outside your comfort zone, and they will change who you are. Because remember, it's not about the goal achievement per se, it's who you become along the way. You will not recognize yourself. And in a good way, in a good way. And then your self-image, it's a self-imposed boundary and it can be changed. Redefine your self-image. And when you do all these things, your definition of success will become much more clear. It's all an inside job. Success is an inside job. The definition of success is personal. Nobody knows. It's not a cookie cutter checkbox. It just isn't. So I want you to go inside. That's where all the answers are. Go inside. Shut out all the chatter, all the voices, all the interruptions around you, and allow yourself to matter. Allow yourself to dream and imagine, and allow yourself to receive the guidance. And whether you believe in God or if you believe in spirit, universe, there's something bigger that's guiding you. And that can be whatever you believe. Like I said, that doesn't have to, that can be spirit, it can be the universe, it can be God, it can be referred to as your higher power, it can be whatever is meaningful to you. But listen to those voices, listen to those intuitive guidance messages that are being delivered to you. So important, so important. You have all the answers, and you're not here on this webinar by accident, and you're not here on this earth by accident, and you're not here on this earth to play small. So don't hold back. Let the self-doubt go. Work on your self-image. And I really encourage you to reach out to me. Reach out to even to set up a discovery call where I can help you see where the limiting beliefs are creeping in. It's my goal and my mission to make this a movement where women all over the world recognize how worthy you are, and that you're meant for more and you're meant for greatness. And we play small because we don't know how to play bigger. We don't know what the next steps are. But if you listen, if you go inside, you will hear the next steps. So I want you to grow from this. I don't want this to just be a webinar that you listen to and then go on with your day. I really want you to implement some of these new concepts, because repetition of the concepts is how the change happens. So listen to this again, because I guarantee you will hear something different the second time around. Something will resonate. It'll hit you differently the next time around. But stay in the material in some way, shape, or form, and it will change your life. And it's possible. So reach out if I can support you in any way. And I am so thankful for everybody being here today. Reach out with any questions. I am so excited when I hear from people with questions, thoughts, concerns, even if it's just those simple thoughts, sharing what came up for you. I love to hear from you. So reach out, and I hope you have an amazing day wherever you're tuning in from, and know that you are limitless. Thanks for being here.